Hello, beautiful souls. Some stories activate you, and this is one of those. I'm Lorelei, an embodied angelic soul, and this is a story weave, a frequency transmission. You may feel sensations in your body as you listen. You may begin to remember who you are at a soul level. This is not traditional storytelling, it's a cosmic weave, an activation of remembrance of who you are at a soul level. Welcome. Good morning. Just looking up at my screen because I recorded for an hour this morning. At least I thought I did. I didn't hit the record button. But that's how life works sometimes. We get a redo. Maybe that just was what I needed to help me figure out what I wanted to say in a more concise way. You know what? There was a time when I was 41 years old where I thought something was killing me. And it almost did, but nobody understood it. I had 2 IUDs. A doctor made a mistake. I was never angry at him. I had nothing but forgiveness, and I had understanding because he was going through his own hardships. It's a long and told story, and I want to speak to that because that sparked off my dark night of my soul. Now, what is a dark night of the soul? It is representation to me of entering a time of working on yourself and understanding what your spirit and your soul is trying to tell you. I thought I was dying. I was like, wait, is this 40? Is this what happens? But since then, what I've come to understand, my whole world crumbled apart. In tarot, it's called the tower moment, where things just keep crumbling and things just keep happening. And your whole life changes. I had a beautiful moment yesterday. I'm seeing this bracelet on my wrist. I was working at the museum I work at here in Bentonville, Arkansas. Yes, it's a beautiful place to be every day. And, it was Christmas Eve, and this man came up to the station that I was working in. And he was so kind and nice. And he said to me, "I'm so lucky I had a stroke." You don't hear that often. If I hadn't had the stroke, they wouldn't have found the brain tumor that I had. Gosh, what a beautiful, beautiful alchemy. What is alchemy? Alchemy is taking the horrible parts of your life, the things that break you, those tower moments that just cause everything to come crumbling down. You take those moments and you figure out, what is your lesson to learn in all that? And I'm not saying we've ever done anything to deserve like horrible things happening to us. It's not what I'm saying at all. I had a lot of stuff happen. A lot to do with those 2 IUDs that were discovered in my body. I had health issues, fallout from that for years. That was just the beginning of the crumbling. This bracelet came from that man, and he was so appreciative of life, and he was so beautiful in his way of showing appreciation. And I felt like it was a gift from my angels to really help me remember and stay focused on what actually matters in this time of celebrating, for a lot of people, the birth of Jesus Christ. Now, this is not about isolating anyone on your beliefs. This is a telling of the story, a weaving of threads, pulling all these threads together. Because I had a lot of really odd things happen. And I speak to a lot of people who have had a lot of weird things happen. And I want to show you the weave of them all coming together, because when you start to realize patterns are everywhere, when you follow the threads of the patterns, it helps you unwind the messages. What you came here to learn, what you came here to experience. And when I say you came here, I'm talking about the fact that we are everlasting energy beings. Oops. I dropped my little spiral. I guess I'll just grab my little quartz here. So the birth of Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary, the feminine. You know, this channel is about balance. It's about remembering who you are. It's about understanding that you're an everlasting being of love and light. I heard this really beautiful analogy from someone who remembers and shares the remembrance of their being. And it was, okay, if God, if Source, if all that is this beautiful, uncomprehendable essence of light beyond what we can imagine, and that essence of light decided, I want to remember, I want to be able to understand. And I'm saying I because there's no language to really express this essence of all that is. How do you even begin to experience that? Well, with light, you have to inject darkness. Boop, boop, boop. Pure white, pure glowing, beautiful light has to be integrated with darkness to have a picture, to have the full picture. I've gone through an awakening. I understand the essence of what life is as best as I can. I'm still unwinding it. I hope you will join me in this cosmic weave, this retelling of stories that, I'll be honest with you, I really didn't want to retell. I wanted to be present because I understand the only thing we really have is the moment that we're in, this here and now moment. Understanding that helped me release the anxiety that I was crippled by at one point from the fallout of those IUDs that were found in my life, in my body. I mentioned in my first video that I know I am an energy channel. I'm an energy healer. And through the unwinding of everything that came out of this dark night of my soul that lasted about 10, 11 years, about a year and a half ago, I really received confirmation of the essence of who and what I am. So I mentioned I am an embodied angelic soul. Now, when I learned about the idea of being an angelic soul, having a different soul origin, my energy being coming from that source of light, I'm here to serve humanity. And I know that sounds pretty fantastical if you have no idea of the fact that we are everlasting light beings. But that's part of why I'm talking now. My soul mission is to help people understand who and what they are, to help release the fear of being. Because everything I know is the only true power. We have to have light and dark. But darkness cannot survive in light. We are overrun by darkness, by chaos, by fear narratives. There is a fear epidemic in the collective energy of everyone. We're not made to live in survival mode. Our bodies, our nervous system, the nervous system of the collective is just shot right now. How do you light up a season of darkness? Well, what I learned, rather than running from the darkness, our shadow, you let it come, you look at it. A beautiful story a friend shared with me. It was a reel on social media, and it was talking about the buffalo. What do they do when a storm's coming their way? Do they try to outrun it? No, they run straight into it. Straight into it. Because that's how you get through it quicker. So I mentioned the fact that I learned a lot about myself. Maybe I didn't mention it, but I'm mentioning it now. I learned a lot about myself and what I have to offer humanity in service of love, helping people feel better. And you know what it is? It is what I learned through my darkest hours, through the roughest moments of my life. One of the roughest moments of my life was a message delivered from someone I love dearly. No words for how much. And that message was, my journey is not yours, go work on yourself. So I touched on the idea of divine masculine and divine feminine, and the wounded aspects of masculine and feminine energy, and how we're moving into this rising of divine feminine energy. And this is not about, I will say this every time, it's not about men or women, one being better than the other. It's just we're out of balance. The patriarchy that we're watching, having so much chaos in the world, it is the embodiment of the wounded masculine. Now, I want to speak to what is the wounded feminine. Now, I have worked on many, many women. I have been an esthetician, hands on heads and faces, doing facials, doing brow work, being a brow specialist. I have worked on women since 1989, primarily. I've worked on men as well. But the primary person that I worked on was every age of woman. Like I started, before like tweens, 7, 8, 9, 6, 7. Okay, sorry. I'm not trying to do that to you. I know it's exhausting. But you add those two numbers together and it's 13. Now I'm going to keep going back to 13 because that was a number that was erased, and why? There's a lot to explore with that. Now, one of the things that I forgot about that is so powerful when you look at it, patterns in nature. Do you know about the shell of a turtle or a tortoise? They have 28 outside rings. I'm looking at a little tortoise shell I have over there. And then 13 sections in the middle. In my first video, I mentioned you get 28 days in a moon cycle. You get 13 moon cycles. What does that equal? 34. 28 times 13 is, sorry, I don't know what number I just said. 364. You had one day for rest. So that's the true calendar. That is helping the circadian rhythms. So now all of a sudden we have this calendar that is nonsense. Gosh, I remember trying to learn the names of the calendar and how many days were in each month, and it just did not make sense. There was no rhythm. There was no pattern to it. I'm like, what the heck is this? Of course it doesn't make sense. Moon cycles, they affect the water. We are 75% water. The feminine cycle, this is where I segue. When I was young, I had so many hormonal imbalances. And they were treated for the most part by pharmaceutical medicines that never agreed with my system. As I mentioned, I have a different sensitive system. I channel energy. I am a sensitive energy being, as so many people on this earth are. I want to help you understand this. So, if we're an everlasting soul, because we are energy first, when we're born, we breathe in the essence of life. When we pass, we breathe out that final spiral, and the last of our soul, the last of our spirit, moves on to another place. The spiral of life, connecting to our breath. We are a spiral of breath. We are the essence of water. The moon, right there. That beautiful painting that a friend did for me. It's a beautiful story. When she was painting it, she took a lot of notes and she did a card pull for me. And it was Mary Magdalene. And at the time, I was kind of really distracted by romantic love. I've always been connected to the energy of love, but I was extremely deep in romantic love. I'm like, ugh. I just kind of thought, oh gosh, what does this mean? I have to marry myself. I have to be my own best friend. I have to be my own partner first before I can find true love. Well, yeah, I've kind of figured that out. I figured exactly that out because the essence of that card was speaking to rebalance. Because when you heal the aspects that are wounded, the feminine and masculine aspects that we all have within, every single one of us has within, that's how we create balance. And when you're balanced, when you've healed both aspects of yourself, you're in harmony, you're in balance. And this is what I'm hoping to affect with this channel, creating balance, helping people understand why they would want to have those balanced energies. So I'm going to segue a little bit here. You ever have a friend ask you to help them do a project? It's like, sure, I'll go help you clean your house or move or whatever. And you go do it and you're like, man, this is so much easier than working on cleaning my own house, my own bathroom, packing my own stuff. It is, isn't it? It's so much easier. But you know what? When it comes to emotions and inner healing, if you're like, hey, your mind's a little messy, let me help you clean that up. I don't think most people are really going to appreciate that. They're like, hey, you're kind of a jerk sometimes. How about I help you clean that up? No. Everybody gets to help themselves heal. And I'm speaking to this because I had to come to terms with the fact, like, if I'm an energy healer, if I'm an energy channel, and one of my beautiful mentors helped me understand this. I'm like, I don't want to take credit for them healing themselves. How do I come to terms with this? Because I know I'm helping their energy field release the traumas. I know I'm helping their energy become more coherent and cohesive. And if you know anything about tuning forks, when you use a tuning fork, it helps tune an instrument. Coherent energy helps tune and helps create a beautiful melody. So if our energy field is all incoherent with static, I feel energy. My language is energy. Y'all have it too. You know, like when you walk in a room and everybody's mad or upset and you're like, oh, I don't want to go in there. Or if you walk in and you see or feel someone that's really sad, you're like, oh, I feel that. That's energy. We all have energy. We're just meant to society has shown us to not believe anything that we really are because it's woo-woo. I saw someone say, it's not woo-woo, it's true. There's a lot of truths that have been kept from us. And I really just want you to become so empowered that you understand the essence of what the Serenity Prayer was trying to tell us. Have the wisdom to know what you can affect. Paraphrasing there. But the essence of this is, if you're like judging and looking like, hey, that person's mind is messy, I need to help them. A true healer has to look and deal with all their stuff inside themselves first before they can help anyone else. Because otherwise you're a wounded healer. Yeah, it's easier to help try to clear up other people's stuff first, but what about yourself? It's so much easier to help other people than look within. I mentioned that I had to come to terms with the idea of hate and love and light. Now I'm 55 years old and I have walked through many, many shadows of myself. I've learned to love myself unconditionally by looking at the aspects of myself that I rejected. It's called shadow work. in the language that I speak. Shadow work is about the parts of you that you repress, that you don't want others to see, that you're afraid if they see that part of you, they might reject you. So it causes you to conform. I got to be enough. I got to do enough. Oh my gosh, I don't want anybody to see that I'm not enough, that I don't really like just working all the time to exhaustion. I want to just rest, but everybody's doing all this stuff. Oh my gosh, what if I get left behind? What if someone sees that I'm not perfect? What if someone judges me for the fact that I've done so much shadow work and I speak my truth that I've learned through a long journey of self-discovery and knowing thyself? I don't love myself because of the parts I used to reject. I love myself because I understand I have been given the gift of the horrible tower moments that happened to me in my life. To understand that no matter what happens, no matter why or what has happened along the way, I am love, as are you. I get to love myself unconditionally, because if it doesn't start with me, who's going to love me? When you don't love yourself actively and you're like, I got to find someone outside of me to love me. Whose house can I go clean? I don't want to look at my own. There's a lot of dirt. There's a lot of dirty stuff in there. Don't shine a light in those corners of myself I just don't want to face because they're so scary. Let me tell you this. You know how you light up the darkness? I just said it. You shine light on it. Now, you don't have to start with a floodlight, a little light coming in and seeing oh, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. The way we judge ourselves, I think a lot of people can relate to this. The way we judge ourselves is so much more harsh than the way other people judge us. And if another person is judging you, guess what? Hurt people don't hurt people. People that have healed themselves deeply don't look at other people with judgment. If you are actively going around saying, hey, this person is too happy. This person's kind of a jerk. This person, I think they're gay. You know why I said that? I always kind of giggle a little bit because there's this aspect of humanity right now that is so quick to judge people's essence of who they are and how they live and how they're made up and their understanding of life, because each person's perspective of life is their own. When you sit and judge things, you're revealing a whole lot about yourself. A whole lot about yourself. Because when you're driving down the road, if you're focused on beauty, you see the makeup stores, you see the hair salons, you see the spas. If you're focused on fixing stuff, you see the hardware stores. You see the Home Depots. You see the Lowe's. Whatever. It's not about the brands. It's about what you look at, what you focus on. I'll tell you what, when I drive down the street, I don't notice the hardware stores first. Why are you noticing something about someone else and judging it so harshly? A lot of times it ties back to aspects of yourself that you're afraid of. That maybe didn't make sense. Now, there's a lot to unwind and unpack there. But the point is, if you're sitting there wanting to work on other people besides yourself, maybe it's time to sit and look within first. Hold that thought. Now, I mentioned I recorded for hours earlier. And I wasn't recording. Well, at minimum an hour. So you can't see what I'm doing, but maybe you can hear it. I have a huge deck I have 2 decks of multi-card decks, and I am trying to get one of them to come out so I can speak off the cuff, because I know I've opened a lot of threads, and I've asked my guides to be here with me to pull together the threads that are most important. Oh, I see you. Ooh, the moon. I see you. I see you. Okay. Didn't come out naturally, but this is the moon card in tarot. Oh, look, the sun and the moon. This is another representation of the sun. What does the moon mean to me? Okay, there's a few things. You can't see it right now. Maybe you can see right on that little part of my palm. I have a spiral. Boop. It's a pretty rare marking on a hand. I was really into playing with it. I would put glue on it and peel it off to see the texture. I would melt candles, see the texture. God love my mother. She was scared to death of candles. She didn't want us to do it. But she was a single working mom, so yeah, I played with candles a lot. It happens. But the point is, what I realized through looking into palmistry, there weren't a lot of people that understood what this meant. I had to really work to find information about it. And ultimately, I was talking about the spiral of breath earlier. Everything's a spiral. Everything in nature has patterns. Our DNA is a spiral. We have, spiral strands of DNA make up everything. The unfurling of life. The turtles all the way down. Gosh, I love that Sturgill Simpson song. It's pretty awesome. I highly recommend to listen. It spoke to me. I have different spirit animals who have spoke to me. And, as I mentioned already, 28 around the outside, segments on the turtle shell, 13 in the middle, going back to that moon calendar. The moon, the intuition, the balance between these 2 towers here. It's about marrying and combining the feminine. The feminine is indicative of intuition. That spiral on my hand is the sign of, it was one of the biggest signs that really helped resonate when I figured out I was an angelic soul. There's a lot I can refer to about that. I live in Arkansas. A beautiful being named Dolores Cannon lived in Arkansas, and I didn't realize that until after I started studying her hypnotherapy work, where she tapped into the subconscious. Now, I recorded earlier, and I can't remember how much of this I mentioned, but a lot of what I figured out about myself had to do with not wanting my brain to shut down. I had a 55-year-old cousin die from Alzheimer's. My mom was currently digressing into the depths of dementia. My grandmother and my aunt died really deep in their dementia journey. And brain-related health issues are really prominent right now. That right there scared the hell out of me. It scared me into figuring out, how does that not happen to me? And ultimately, that journey of understanding and remembering who I am led me to understanding intuition, led me to understanding the spiral of nature and life. I'm weaving these stories. There's so many stories that are relatable, that might touch on something that you're experiencing now. I've come to understand pattern recognition. Synchronicity is one of my clairsenses. It's called clairpaternia. And I just recently learned that. Maybe some of you have it. Maybe that's why I'm speaking of it right now. Because it's a form of intuition. I wanted to be like the others. I had this like comparisonitis when I was first working on figuring out my gifts. I'm like, well, other people see more and hear more. Clairvoyance, clairaudience. Sometimes they smell. Clairaudience. I hope I said that right. And one of my mentors was like, why don't you ask your guides? Ask them to show you. Ask them to increase, those gifts. And immediately after I did that, I felt and heard and knew my guides were like, you do hear us. It just sounds like your own voice. I was doing a facial on one of my friends one time, I don't know, about a year ago, and I was holding her hand and I was just rocking back and forth. And in my mind, I was thinking, ease and flow, ease and flow. And she's like, I just keep hearing ease and flow, ease and flow. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking ease and flow in my mind. And you heard that? I'm like, what? I heard it in my voice. She's like, I heard it in my voice. So we were sharing energy in that moment. It was really beautiful. I have a few friends that I know are angelic souls that I met through this connection of the spiritual counselor that connects you with your angelic guides, with your spirit guides. It's not so fantastical. Society has made it very fantastical because when you understand the essence of who and what you are, that you are an everlasting being of love and light, that you came here to develop your soul and to learn more and to be more. There's so many gifts and learning about that. One, when I started learning that and understanding the truth of it, it just freed up so much space and energy. It took away my fear of death. I'm not saying I want to die. Oh, interesting fact. The death card, let's see if I can find one in this box, is number 13. And so many people are afraid of like the oracle and the tarot cards. But you know what the death card means? I'll tell you what it means. We'll see if one of them flip out here. It's losing the aspects of yourself. It's the ego death. The parts of you that are not allowing you to connect to your divine knowing. You are a spirit first. You are a spirit first. You can argue with me all you want. It's just a fact. It's fine if you want to argue. It's your choice. I hope that at least this plants seeds. It doesn't have to resonate with you. It does not have to. Your version of reality may have nothing to do with this. Because each person's version of reality is made up of a kaleidoscope of all the things they've ever experienced. Nobody's life is like another's. You're the only person that's with you your whole entire life. Your higher self, the essence of the being that you are, that is pure love and light, that agreed to come into a physical body, to be born into a physical body, and forget everything you know in this lifetime. It would be pretty overwhelming living in this density, this 3D density that is Earth. Moving forward in life, the best way you can move forward in life, it has everything to do with understanding the things that I'm talking about. Freeing yourself up, releasing the tethers and the ties that bind. In tarot also there's the devil card. And in the devil card, there are two beings in front of the devil, and their arms are down, and they have tethers wrapped around them. But guess what? They're not tied. It's self-tethering. All you have to do is lift up your arms, and you're free. So what are some of the things that can cause self-tethering? How do we self-tether? We keep ourselves tied to the stories and the narratives that were not our original stories. A lot of times when we grow up, we're told these stories of how we should believe and how we should feel our whole entire lives. And as we grow up and things don't really make sense. What was that about? When things quit making sense and you just feel imbalanced, like static in your energy body. It's because the stories and the narratives that we were told growing up, they maybe don't resonate with who and what we are, just like that calendar that is out of rhythm with nature. Connecting to nature and the rhythms and the patterns and the spirals in nature, it is the way to peace and joy and freedom. You know what else you can spiral? You can turn the channel, turn your focus. You don't have to focus on all the fear that's around you everywhere. It's one of the things I learned through studying brain health, through studying how to keep your brain healthy. You know how you do it? You change your thoughts. Do you know, I heard this number, 85% of our thoughts are the same thoughts every day, all day. Our subconscious, our autopilot, just like, oh, they're kind of checked out. They're living in the past or the future. They're living in the past. They're depressed. They're living in the future. They're anxious rather than being in the one place they are right now. Think about it. What are you doing right now? Well, you're listening to me if you're still here. You're connecting with my energy, my frequency right now. Be present with me. Take a breath. Feel it go out. When you breathe in and you breathe out, when you expand through breath, through breathing, guess what? Your muscles have to relax to allow that deeper breath to come in. Roll your shoulders a little bit. Stretch your arms. Feel everything loosen up. I have worked on people's head, neck, and shoulders for years, and I could just always get right in there and pull everything apart and stretch it apart, make them feel better. I knew it was something special because everybody that I worked on just really loved it, and I just didn't want to see anyone else after that for the way I made them feel. Of course, that changed a little bit when I got super deep in my dark night of the soul. But the fact of the matter was, I came to learn through my intuitive path, through all these things that happened, what I'd been doing all those years. I could reach back and just stretch out. Stretch that stuff out, make people feel better, help them feel better. I have this gift called clairsentience. I'm sure plenty of you have it developed to one degree or another. Everyone has psychic senses or extra sensory perceptions. We're just not taught about them because when you know yourself, it's really hard to control you. Sorry. I'm not sorry. This is all about you understanding and maybe learning the questions that you didn't know to ask. Because in my 20 years as an esthetician, I heard myself say, wait, hold on, back up. I started aesthetics when I was 19. In my mid-30s, I entered the medical aspects of it. I saw it being infiltrated by medical because there was, a need to make more money. Because there's got to be ways to make money. Wait, that's not working for you? Here's another medicine for you. Okay, so back to my point. With the beauty industry, When I started working with medical equipment and medical products, each thing I worked with, each modality, part of what I would explain to people is this is triggering your body's ability to heal itself. It's triggering your body's natural ability to heal itself. We're triggering your cell turnovers. So finally, after saying that for so many years, I'm like, wait, why did it take me so long? Our bodies are designed to heal themselves. And when you understand all the things that I would like to talk about on this channel, when you understand that your body wants to heal itself, it's designed to heal itself, there's a few things that, will help you do that. Connecting with your breath, closing and quieting your mind so you can hear your everlasting soul, your spirit, and the guidance it's giving to you. When you listen to your heart and your gut, when you listen to your intuition, it's trying to keep you guided and on the right path that is for you, for your joy and for your happiness and for your understanding and for your ability to love yourself unconditionally. When you connect with that part of yourself, when you listen deeply, you are empowered. You are triggering your body's ability to heal itself. You are enabling your angelic guides, your ancestors that are just right there. They're not spying on you. They're just making sure you're good and okay. They're right there if you call for them. This is where the essence of prayer came in. I wake up in the morning and I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so happy I woke up today. I'm so thankful for this breath. Thank you for creating ease and flow in my day. And you know why I say that? Because I'm grateful. One, gratitude is a beautiful energy that invites healing, invites knowing. Why wouldn't you want to thank the divine essence that keeps you safe and healthy and protected? They cannot interfere with your free will. Why not just invite them to help you create that ease and flow in your day and show you the miracles that you are? Now, there's so much to unwind, and I can hear some of the questionings, like, if there's a God, why is all this bad stuff happening? Because when you take that river of pain that you have swam and felt like you've drowned in, when you take it and you go, wait, what were the lessons there for me? What was I meant to learn in this hardship? When you take that and you turn it around and you open it up, it is the gift you have from your life experience to share with the world. It is your greatest gift to share with humanity. The Lover's card. Archangel Raphael, the number 6. Raphael, I am from the soul stream of Archangel Raphael. The essence, the color of his energy is green. The Lovers in tarot, it's not about like meeting your lover. It's about inner unity and learning to love yourself. It's learning to love yourself, combining those energies. And this for the Gemini who has duality. I have Gemini sun. It is combining the essence of who you are and finding balance. And that's why it's so important that the wounded masculine that created the patriarchy and the wounded feminine that has been disempowered for so long, that divine energy, the connection to Mary Magdalene, because Mary Magdalene, at her heart and soul essence of who and what she is, was the divine partner of Jesus, Yeshua. There are so many beautiful feminine beings that were erased from history, just like they tried to erase the number 13, my birth number. the number of the divine feminine. Well, you know what? You know how the divine feminine rises up, healing themselves, understanding that they don't have to overgive to be accepted. They don't just have to give, and be meek and stand back and let the men do it. No. The wounded masculine, they are craving the return of the divine feminine, because what you do when you heal yourself, and you're already doing it, once you learn balance, once you learn it's okay for you to put your mask on first, you can't go around trying to heal your whole family and do everything for everyone. And women, I'm speaking to you because I know a lot of you who overgive, and you never stop and do anything for yourself. I worked in beauty for years. I saw moms and grandmothers bring their kids or their grandkids in and do everything for them, but not for themselves. What makes you think you don't deserve that as well? Do unto others as you would have done unto you. Treat yourself. I love that quote. Parks and Rec. What a great show. Treat yourself. Because when you treasure and love yourself, you have so much more to give. When you heal yourself first, rather than going and trying to clean everybody else's house, when you stop, breathe, let everything relax, you embody the essence of who and what you are. You fill your vessel to overflowing with love. All the people you're trying to help, you actually have energy to help them. You cannot give from an empty vessel. You need to allow the waters of your being, the true essence of the moon over the water, the moon that affects the waters, the cycles of life, the patterns of life. Fill your vessel first so you can be the overflowing, beautiful, divine feminine you are, because the wounded masculine is so ready for the rising. Because you know what happens? A balanced, healed feminine. I have to say this quote real quick, right before. Wounded people wound others. Hurt people hurt others. When you heal yourself, you create the most beautiful energy for other people. What is holding space for another's healing? That's what I've had to learn. You heal yourself enough that you are able to hold space. What does that mean? You witness another person. You hear them cry, and you say, I love you. You don't have to like take on their pain. You just let them cry the tears they need to cry. Feel the emotions that they've repressed because they were afraid of being rejected, being kicked out of the crowd, being judged harshly. And remember, what is judgment? You reveal a lot about yourself when you judge others. Remember that. It's not about judging others. It's about learning to love ourselves, filling our vessel first so we overflow, so we can have the ability to hold space for the wounded masculine to heal. So women, I'm asking you, I'm inviting you, put your oxygen mask on first. Love yourself unconditionally. Nurture yourself first so that you can be the nurturing presence that you are, so you can help the masculine energies that are so out of balance right now come to harmony, come to balance. And you know what, on this day that is Christmas Day, knowing my soul mission is to support the divine feminine rising, and I've always been doing it with my hands on people's heads and faces. The journey that I've come to and through to understand soul essence, getting rid of the fear of life and living. You can't take your stuff with you. Nobody's going to be like, oh, she had great shoes. She had a great car. She had a great house. He had all the toys. He had a big old boat. Oh, I got a jet plane. I got all that. Nobody gives two craps about that. You know what people remember? How you make them feel. But let's start with you. How are you making yourself feel? So if you need just a place to start, because I know I've been talking for a while now, and I pray this got recorded. If some of this didn't resonate with you, or if none of it resonated with you, that's fine. How'd you make it to the end, though? If it did resonate and you're just like, wait, what? What? Just let it sit. Maybe take a moment to journal and write down some of the questions that have arisen through this moment in time. Let yourself feel. Don't be afraid of the things that you're afraid if someone finds out about you, they'll hate you, or they won't like you, or you'll be kicked out of the club. Because you are enough, just as you are. You are enough just as you are. And it's okay if you have the desire to do better and be better. But right now in this moment, just know that the essence of love, that is what I'm just referring to as God, and that is not to alienate anybody in their belief system. Because to me, God is interchangeable with love, the only true power. If you are feeling like, but wait, I'm not enough, and you're like sitting here going through the things that you know you think are wrong with you, just know the higher beings that are not here on this earthly plane with us, they love you so unconditionally, and they understand that the society that we are living in has been out of balance for so long. They see you and they witness you. And yes, the souls, the ones that we see creating chaos and doing things that are not right and not good, they're still loved unconditionally. And you know what? When they go and do their life review, they will understand what they did, and they will choose to experience the same or worse that they did to others. There's a lot more to that. But maybe this is enough for today. I know I've opened a lot of threads, but remember, this is a cosmic weaving. I'll touch on all kinds of things. And if you stay with me, I'll get there. Now, if you want, you can put a comment down asking a question about why things happened, asking about how you can do more to help yourself heal, how you can connect with the essence of your spirit and your soul, that'll be great. And just remember, if you're judging me for what you see as the speck of sawdust in my eye, while you have a plank in your own, you're revealing a lot more about yourself if you decide to shoot hate at me, because all I want to do is help you see that the only true power is love, and it's okay to question the narratives. And if you haven't heard it today, on this beautiful day of celebration, whatever the celebration for you is, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling lonely, know you are never alone. Your guardian angels are right there with you. The moment you think of an angel, they will be there with you. I'm an embodied angel. And I don't say that from a place of like, oh, I'm better, I'm an angel. It's nothing like that. I'll expand on that more. But we are all special. Every single one of us is special. We are all loved unconditionally. Unconditionally. So if any of this really resonated with you, if you feel like tingles at any point, go back to that journal, write it down and see, let it unwind for a bit. I know this has been a lot of information. Some of you are like, I already knew all that. If you made it to the end. Some of you are like, I don't understand what she just said, but something about it's intriguing. Just stay with me. Hit the subscribe button. I would love it if you would hit a like if this resonated with you. Or if it didn't, if you made it all the way through, might as well. If you want to leave a comment, that's great. I hope that it's filled with love, and I hope your day is always filled with love, because you are the embodiment of divine love, and I love you. Have a beautiful day, and be present in the here and now.